What's up, everybody? It's your boy King Smitty, and I'm here with another video. But before we get started, I'd like to shout out to everybody who's been watching with me, who rock with me so far. If I can go ahead and like and subscribe, I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers in 2022. I know we can do it. But today I want to talk about Microsoft and the big announcement. So Microsoft has bought Activision. And that they bought Activision for roughly $70 billion. The buyout is expected to be completed no later than June 30th, 2023. So this news, although it is good news, it is a little bit further into the future. So it's not immediate results. You can look at the stock chart. It didn't do incredible numbers, but this is a long-term investment right here. For Microsoft, it would be. For me, I'm not a financial advisor, of course. So everything you hear, you should do your own research and do your own due diligence. But so Microsoft is really just betting that video games will become an increasingly central part in people's lives in part of their digital lives, pretty much. And I can agree with that because video games were pivotal in computers when they first started. You feel me? And I'm going to pull this up right here. It's on Wikipedia for the home computers. And it says home computers were a class of microcomputers that entered the market in 1977 and became common during the 1980s. Right? Go down further to the bottom. It says, here's the first thing it says for the most common use. Their most common use were playing video games. Right? So in a sense, video games kind of helped the exposure, not the exposure, but the growth of home computers in a sense. And Microsoft is kind of betting that video games will help kind of grow the metaverse in a sense. It's going to be a pivotal part of the metaverse, and they're trying to get their hands in there as quick as possible, as big as possible. You feel me? This is the largest acquisition in the gaming world, as well as the largest acquisition done by Microsoft as well. The video game industry is worth roughly $130 billion, right? They're saying that I believe they said that the video game industry is bigger than the movie industry, as well as the music industry. I remember at one point, Netflix says their biggest competitor was I believe it was Twitch, maybe. You know, the video for the live streaming for the video games. So when you look at the sector for video games, number one was Sony, and I believe number two was what was it, Tenectus or something like that, something crazy. And number three was Nintendo, 4 was Microsoft, and number 5 was Activision. So you have the number 4 company buying the 5th company. And once those two merge, hopefully no later than June 30th, 2023, that will put them above Nintendo. That would make them number 3, right behind Sony and Tenectus. I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that word. I've only seen it a few times. I've probably seen it before, but I never had no need to, say it. But so that company, Microsoft, will be the 3rd biggest company in the industry, the gaming industry sector. And there's a lot of technology companies really trying to get their piece of the pie from these 3 billion gamers. You feel me? Part of the deal for the Activision and Microsoft was that Microsoft will add Activision games to their Game Pass. That is a part of their deal. Now here's a kicker. Microsoft hasn't said what games will be moved to Xbox exclusives only, right? And Activision has, Call of Duty, Candy Crush, World of Warcraft, Diablo. They have a lot of big games, and they haven't announced what will be exclusive for Xbox only yet. So could you imagine if they made Call of Duty Xbox exclusives, like you have to have an Xbox to play Call of Duty. One, they might get hit hard. They might have a little hard downfall because I think Sony is a big contributor to those Modern Warfare games, even though they're kind of worse over there on the PlayStation side compared to the Xbox, but they are still a big contributor, so they might take a loss on that. But at the same time, that could motivate more people to buy the Xbox so they can play Call of Duty. Cause I know there were some people who only has Xbox that were considering buying PlayStation solely to play Spider-Man. So I'm sure there's people that will buy the Xbox solely to play Call of Duty. This franchise has been around for over decades now, so I can see people wanting to, over a decade, shall I say, to buy the Xbox just to play that game. It's reported that the CEO of Activision, Bobby Kotick, will remain as the CEO during that merger, but he is expected to step down shortly afterwards, after the merger is completed, by other sources say. Because apparently there was some issues in Activision as far as sexual misconduct, and apparently he knew about it. And not only did he know about it, but he told, I believe, his assistant that he was going to kill her if she don't shut up. I don't know about that one, but so right now he said he's going to be with the company during the merger, but shortly after that merger is completed, he's probably going to be kicked to the curb, right? But let's look at this stock, and let's see if we can find some technical analysis with it, shall we? Okay, so looking at the stock now, you can see the current price is at $302.65. This is Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT, and you can see it has dropped below the 50-day moving average, which is this yellow line. It has dropped below the 100-day moving average, which is this burgundy line, and it has not yet touched the 200-day moving average, which is the slowest of them all. I mean, technically the chart is still in the uptrend long term. Short term, it is kind of bearish. You can see that it's going down. And let's get some lines going on this chart for us. We'll do the horizontal line. So all-time high, we'll say it reached 348.81, but it closed at 344. That's our all-time high right there. We're currently sitting at roughly a support line. That's kind of where we are, 302. But even without 302, mentally, 300 would be a support line, or it could be a resistance line. Those even numbers, a lot of people like to, sell at 300 or buy at 300 or get in at 100, sell at 100, 150, even like 155. So numbers like that, and then the 0 and the 5. A lot of people they gravitate towards those as rounder numbers. So even if 302 wasn't where we at right now, 300 would be like a mental support line. And as you can see over here, it's kind of touched it multiple times, kind of got over it a little bit, but it fell back down. And then once it broke that support line, or over here it's resistance, but once it broke that resistance line, it shot up, right? So if this one passes here, it could easily drop to 294, or it could easily drop to 292, which is where this 200-day moving average is. And moving averages as well can be used kind of like a support and resistance line as well. So I could definitely see it dropping to right around here, let's say 293 area, if it does pass this support line at 300. You can see that the RSI is currently at 33.84, so it's not oversold just yet. Oversold will be anything under 30. It's right there at that line of being undersold. So once it's undersold, it could come back up, but it's kind of hard to tell because these markets are just so haywire right now. Everything's kind of been going down in the market. And here you can see the MACD, the crossover. Normally MACD would be like a bar graph almost. You see red when it's going, you see red below the line, green above it when it's going up. But you also have the MACD, the crossover. So you can see once it crossed over right here, if you look up, one, you'll see the RSI start to fall, and as well, you see this is the last kind of green candle before it comes down. Right here, you can see it cross, and then that blue takes over. You see it rise. Oop, it crosses again, and it starts to come down. And even though the stock was still going up, each day was a red day. You feel me? So that's how you can use you can kind of use the RSI, the MACD. Some people use it as a buy signal. I use it as an indicator, just to give me an idea of what's going on with the stock. So if I see this blue line cross above this red line, I might make a play on it. But like I said, this would be a long-term investment. This wouldn't be a short-term swing. So for me, I kind of like to see what it does the next couple of days. See if I get an indicator that I need to jump in, such as jumping into the oversold category or that MACD line crossing over. So if one of those happen, then I don't know. I might make a move. Currently I have been averaging my price down to some of my growth stocks that are being killed that I still bullish on, but due to the overall market, things such as ChargePoint, my infrastructure play, or my Virgin Galactic, which is just space tourism, which I'm strongly convicted in, at least until the end of 2022, when the commercial flights are supposed to start happening more, and that's when revenue should be starting. So, but if I don't continue to average down on those, I might make a play. I might jump into Microsoft, as one of my portfolio pillars almost. Kind of like Apple. I have that as just a foundation. Not the foundation, but it'd be like right above the foundation. Foundation would be like S&P 500, ETFs, something like that. But that's what I got so far. Thank you for rocking with me. You can see I'm in my Jaguar gear. Go ahead and, if you like the Jaguars, leave me a comment saying go Jags, first round pick next year, But if you don't like the Jags, comment your team so I can tell you what's wrong with your team. Because more than likely your team not going to be in Super Bowl either. Y'all going to be sitting there watching it with the Jaguars with a worse draft pick. So, joke's on y'all.